Well, good morning and welcome back to another video. This is Rob Minton, Friday morning, 5:33 a.m. And I usually talk about ideas and strategies that you can use to improve your financial situation, right? Increase your cash flow from investments, pay down your debt so you can have this position of financial strength so you can have freedom, right? So you can live in time freedom. But today I want to switch gears again, and I've talked about this in other videos, and today I want to talk about something else. And the thing I want to talk about now is our golden years. And I'm bringing this up today because I had a chance encounter yesterday at the doctor's office with my father where this golden years became a topic. So my father he's in his 80s and he has a heart complication that is similar to congestive heart failure. His heart is not beating strong enough. Fluid builds up in his body, and for him to relieve that fluid, he has to take these water pills, which then he has to be near a bathroom because he has to go to the bathroom to get this fluid out of his body. You know, that is challenging of itself, but the problem is that the fluid builds up and it puts pressure on his lungs, so then he has trouble breathing, and this is an ongoing daily problem. And this issue of not being able to breathe really hits home for me because my mother passed away from lung cancer, and as you might imagine, if someone has lung cancer, they have trouble breathing, and for her, she ended up developing COPD early on in her diagnosis, which became very, very hard for her to breathe. So she had to have oxygen, the tubes and tanks and all that. And, it's just, could you imagine not being able to breathe and how scary that would be, how uncomfortable that would be to not be able to breathe? Like, I think you would kind of be on the verge of panic all the time. So now I'm going through this again with my father. It's just crazy how both parents are having difficult breathing issues. My grandfather on my father's side, he had congestive heart failure, so he went through this whole same thing again. My grandfather on my mother's side died of a heart attack suddenly, kind of out of the blue. Both my grandmothers had several health complications. Sitting here today, that stuff is somewhat scary to me, right? The story behind the golden years is we sit down in the waiting room to go for the doctor, and another elderly gentleman comes in and he shuffles in and he sits down and he kind of jokes. He says, the golden years, they're not really golden, are they? And, I'm sitting there with my father and I'm like, man, golden years do not look fun, right? They actually look downright scary. So if we think about this whole plan we've been taught for retirement, where you go to work for 20, 30, 40 years, and then you can finally retire, and then you're supposed to be able to enjoy your golden years because you have money in your retirement account that you can use to do all the things you want to do: golf, travel, cruises, go to shows, go spend time with your family. All those things that you've been wanting to do, you can finally then hopefully do them in your golden years, right? But the problem with that plan, first challenge is, can you do that financially, which is very difficult for a lot of people to do. But the second challenge, which most of us don't even see or think about, is that when we get to our golden years, if we are not proactive with our health and via exercise, that our golden years won't be very golden, because you are going to be dealing with one or more health challenges that will restrict that freedom that you have fought so hard to get, right? You won't be able to do the things that you want to do because you are physically unable to do them. So I don't know if you've picked this up in any of these videos, but man, I am against any restriction. I want complete freedom. I want to be able to use my time as I wish, and I do not want to have any health issue restrict my freedom, which is why I exercise all the time. I do my best to try to break a sweat and gasp for air on a daily basis now so that I can actually try to enjoy my golden years and make them golden, right? Because if you don't invest the time now to improve your health, there will be no gold in your golden years. That's how it is. If you have older family members, man, it is so important to talk to them about this stuff. And if you have the opportunity to go with them to doctor's appointments, it is an eye-opener. You will get to see what your future will look like if you don't take action now in order to prevent that from happening. Now, who knows? I might have multiple health complications down the road, but I'm going to give it my darndest to make sure that that doesn't happen. I'm going to do what I can today, tomorrow, week after week, in order to try to prevent this situation where I'm gasping for air on a daily basis and I have zero control over it. I guess before I wrap up this video, and I'm hoping it's helpful for you, it probably won't be, but I will share a quick story. So my wife's father was a fireman for many years a volunteer fireman, which is so impressive, but for pretty much most of his adult life. And, you know, as a fireman, he became close with other firemen and their families became close. It's this really awesome community. My wife's father passed away, and, you know, a year or so after that, we were out to dinner and we bumped into one of his older friends from the fire department. This friend was sharing that you know, it's been kind of rough for them, that his wife has had health complications. I think she was dealing with Alzheimer's and he was dealing with health complications. And he kind of made the joke. He's like, getting old ain't for sissies. And that stuck with me, right? Because it's not for sissies. It's brutal. And not only do you have the challenges of dealing with whatever medical conditions you have, the day-to-day challenges, you also have how much time, you have no clue how much time older people spend going to the doctor's office. I mean, my dad has probably 2 doctor's appointments a week. And so think about, you know, driving there, sitting in the lobby, waiting, driving home. And then you have the prescriptions. You have the cost of all of this, the time investment. He literally does not have time freedom because of his health situation. So this really has nothing to do with money, but it is important, right? It's like, what can you do today, tomorrow, every day, every week in order to try to minimize the possibility of you dealing with one or more health complications? When after my mother passed, I would go to a park here and I would run sprints. First off, it's an incredible workout, but number 2 is like I would try to gasp for breath through these workouts. Like if I can expand my lung capacity, if I could improve my cardiovascular system and I can keep and maintain that, then maybe, just maybe, I won't be in a situation where I'm struggling for breath during my golden years, my not so golden years. So I hope this video helps in some way. I guess the key thing I'm hoping that you pick up from this is that, you know, to live a good life, we have the money side, but then we also have the health side. And many people are very short-sighted with the health side, right? If you have not been able to watch or witness or be with an older family member through health complications, you don't get this opportunity to see into your future. Use today to make tomorrow better. That's, I guess, the point of this video. I hope it helps. Have an awesome day. I'll catch you in the next video.